Hi everyone and welcome to BitKnits. Today we are going to try our hand at filet crochet, and today's tutorial is a filet crochet placemat pumpkin. You can see the pumpkin design in the center using the filet crochet technique. I will show you a little bit of the basics of filet crochet, but I'm really going to just focus on the tutorial and working every row with you. Filet crochet is a series of double crochets and open spaces to create some sort of a picture in your work. For this pumpkin, I created a graph. I have 20 boxes across and 20 boxes going up. Filet crochet is a little bit different in how you read the graph. You're still going to be starting from the bottom right corner, and that's where my 1 is down here. You're going to read right to left for row 1 in every odd row, left to right for every even row. So that is similar to like a Fair Isle style way of reading graphs. However, each one of these blocks is actually 4 double crochets or 4 stitches. Any block that is shaded in is going to be the double crochets. When we get to the open or the white blocks, those are going to be a double crochet, chain 2, double crochet. So each block is 4 stitches. However, the last double crochet stitch of each previous block counts as the first stitch of your next block. So in that way it's a little bit different, and it really takes some time to get your mind wrapped around thinking that way. But I will give you the stitch counts, how many double crochets you need before we start working the open stitches, and I will go into a lot of detail during the tutorial on each individual row, referring to my graph as I go, so you can kind of look at that and hopefully it helps. This is just a very beginner pattern. I am hoping to do a lot more filet crochet work as I get better. This was my first filet crochet project, and I have to tell you, I absolutely loved it. It was relatively fast once I got my mind wrapped around how to count the stitches and the blocks and the spaces. I absolutely loved it because it kept me engaged having to create this design. If you know how to do double crochets and chain stitches, then you can do this too. For this tutorial and this project, I am using 24/7 cotton. One ball is 186 yards. You should easily be able to get 2 placemats out of one ball of the 24/7 cotton. I am also using a 4mm crochet hook. For the foundation chain row, I have 20 blocks, remembering that the double crochet that we work from each previous block counts as a stitch in the next and the next and the next. So the way I figure how many foundation chains that I needed for this, I counted my first block as having 4 double crochets. That leaves me with 19 more blocks at 3 stitches each. So I took 19 times 3 and I added 4 to get 61. Now we need a turning chain, so I added 3 to that. So your foundation chain row should be 64. So go ahead, put a slip knot on your hook and work 64 chains. Once you have your chain of 64, we're going to work a double crochet into the 5th chain away from your hook. So count backwards, 1, 2, 3, 4, into that 5th chain, work a double crochet. And now you want 1 double crochet into each stitch all the way down your chain. So row 1 was just a double crochet into every stitch all the way across. You can see that on the one that I did, just a single crochet or a double crochet all the way across. Here's, for reference, our graph. All shaded in blocks are just double crochets. We're on row 2 now. We're going to do the same thing and work a double crochet into every stitch all the way back. So we've just finished row 1. I'm going to turn without chaining anything and into the very first stitch. So that very top stitch here. Pull your yarn sort of out of the way. I'm just going to work a single crochet and you can see we have 2 stitches on the front like that. I'm going to work a single crochet into that back stitch. So the stitch, that loop here, that bar that's on the left side, you can see there's one on the edge. I'm going to just work a single crochet into that left bar, and that gives us what is a double crochet or a chain 3. It just will stand a little bit straighter and be a little bit more secure than just a chain 3. Now I can go ahead and work a double crochet into the next and a double crochet into every stitch all the way back, and that is row 2. I'm on my last 2 stitches, so I'm going to work a double crochet, and don't forget to work into the top of your turning chain, a double crochet right into the top, and that is row 2 done. Row 3, we're up here now. We have 5 shaded in blocks, and the way that I count this is the first block has 4 stitches and the next 4 blocks here have 3 stitches. So if you count all of those up in that way, you get a total of 16 stitches that you need before you get to this first open space. So we are going to start like we always do for each row. I'm going to work a single crochet into that first stitch, and then we're going to work a single crochet through that left bar, and that will give us our double crochet stitch. That counts as a stitch. We need 16 total, so work a double crochet into the next 15 stitches. I have worked 15 stitches. I have 16 total, which includes that turning chain that we work. Now we can work a space. So every white box is a space, and every space is a double crochet, chain 2, skip 2, double crochet in the next. Because every block starts with the last double crochet of that last block, we already have our double crochet for that first open space. So here I am on my completed one. We've got this double crochet here. That post for our space has already been created from the last block. So we're going to chain 2, skip 2 stitches, and work a double crochet into the next. And there's our first space. So the spaces to me are pretty easy because you just count how many open blocks you have, and that's how many spaces you should have. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 spaces. So I've got 1, so I'm going to chain 2, skip 2, double crochet in the next. And I'm going to keep doing this until I have my 10 spaces. So I have worked my 10 spaces, which are right here, And now you should be right here. Work a double crochet into every stitch across, remembering this post from our last space counts as the first double crochet of this next block. So that is what I'm talking about when I say sometimes it takes a little bit of time to get used to how you count and read a filet crochet graph or chart. And I think everybody kind of comes up with their own way of thinking of it. Just like anything else, we all have our own best ways of keeping track of things and how things work. So I'm just going to work my double crochets into every stitch. You should have 16 total stitches on each side, so up here on each side of your spaces. For row 4, we're going to work the same way. I'm going to work the single crochet and a single crochet into that left bar. So for row 4, we're starting over here, working left to right. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 boxes. That will be 13 stitches total, remembering that this stitch counts. So I need 12 more double crochets before I start my open spaces. I have 13 total double crochets, remembering that that end one that we create with those single crochets counts as a double crochet. Here is the space from the previous row. I have 3 stitches, which is technically a box. This stitch counts as the post for our first space. So remembering that a space is a double crochet, which we've already created from our last box, chain 2, skip 2, 1, 2, and a double crochet into the next. And that double crochet happens to be over the post of our previous post for the space. So the graph pattern calls for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 spaces total. So I'm going to go ahead and work my chain 2, and I know that these are skip 2s because they were chain 2s. So this part you really don't even have to count. You just work into the tops of our posts from the previous row. So those double crochet posts. Skip 2, and double crochet into the next. So I'm going to keep working this until I have completed these spaces, and I will meet you over here. So I'm over here, which is actually right here because we are on an even row reading left to right. I have one more space to do, which will be over these double crochets. So I'm going to chain 2, skip 2, and work a double crochet right into the next stitch. And now I can just work my double crochets across for these last 4 boxes. And you should have 13 total double crochets on this side, remembering that this last double crochet that we did for the space counts as one of those double crochets. So 13 total. 4 rows complete. We are on row 5 now. Row 5, we work right to left because it is even. I have 3 boxes right here, which means we're going to need 10 total double crochets before we start our open space work. Starting the same way, a single crochet and a single crochet into the left bar gives us our first stitch, and 9 more double crochets. So a double crochet into the next 9, 9 crochets, 10 total. We're going to work a space, so we're going to chain 2. So we're up. Right here, we need 3 spaces. Let me bring that a little bit closer. For row 5, we just worked our 3 boxes. We need 3 spaces before we start on his teeth. So I've got my post, chain 2, skip 2, double crochet into the next. There's 1 box, 2 more boxes, so chain 2, skip 2, double crochet into the next, 1 more box, chain 2, skip 2, double crochet into the next. Alright, now we have 2 boxes we have to make. So basically we need to work over these next 2 boxes, and that will be in the next 6 stitches. So you've got your 2 stitches here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. When you're working into the stitches over a space, always try to work into the actual stitch. You don't want to work around into the space because it tends to pull, it'll kind of distort your work. It won't look as uniform as it should. So I like to go into the actual stitch, which can be a little bit tedious sometimes with these open stitches. My first 3 stitches. I need 3 more. One more stitch. So a double crochet in the next 6. Alright. Now, we're right here, we need 1 open space. So an open space is a chain 2, skip 2, and double crochet into the next. Now we need 2 more blocks, so that is 6 stitches. So here's our 2 blocks we're going to work over, just like we did for that one. So a double crochet in the next 6 stitches. We have another open space. So I'm going to chain 2, skip 2, double crochet into the next. We have 2 more blocks. So a double crochet in the next 6. We're right here now. We need 3 boxes. The box starts with a chain 2, double crochet, skip 2, double crochet in the next, chain 2, skip 2, double crochet in the next. 2 boxes. I need 1 more, chain 2, skip 2 stitches, double crochet in the next. We have 3 blocks left for row 5, so that should be the same as it was over here. So 10 total stitches. Remembering that this double crochet that we just did counts as one of those 10. And one more into the top of that turning chain to make 10. So again, I always say this for all of my projects, if you're ever unsure about where the turning chain is, which stitch you need to work into, count your stitches. This is pretty straightforward because it mirrors each other. So however many you had on this side, which was 10 total double crochets, you should have on this side. So now on to row 6. Row 6, we start left to right, so we're here. We're going to work this row right here. Row 6 starts with 2 boxes and we're working left to right. So again, we turn our work. You can also chain 3, but I am going to single crochet into the first and then single crochet into that leftward bar, and that creates sort of our chain 2 or chain 3. It creates a double crochet. So that counts as a stitch. We need 7 total stitches counting this, so I need 6 more double crochets. 7 total double crochets. I need 3 blocks right here. 1, 2, 3. Chain 2, skip 2, double crochet in the next. That is 1 block. Chain 2, skip those 2, double crochet in the top of that double crochet from the previous row. That is 2 blocks. Chain 2, skip 2, double crochet into the next stitch, 3 spaces. So now we have all of these blocks to do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 blocks. So basically we are working all the way across here. So this double crochet that we just did counts as one of those stitches. I need to work 10 blocks. That is going to be 30 total stitches. So I'm going to go ahead and work my 30 double crochets, and I will see you when I get over here. I have worked 30 double crochets. Remember, always working into those chains that we did for our spaces. Those are stitches. Now I'm all the way across this row. I am going to work 3 spaces and 2 blocks to finish. So I'm going to chain 2, skip 2, double crochet in the next, 1 block, chain 2, skip 2, double crochet in the next, chain 2, skip 2, double crochet in the next, 3 blocks, 1, 2, or 3 spaces, sorry, 3 spaces, 1, 2, 3, and now I can finish and work my blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 double crochets left, plus this one here makes 7, and that will equal our 2 blocks on the end. Don't forget to put a double crochet in the top of that first one over here. That is row 6. You can kind of see the teeth forming and the mouth shaping. On to 7. So row 7 is right here. 2 blocks, 2 spaces, 3 blocks, 2 spaces, 2 blocks, 2 spaces, 3 blocks, 2 spaces, 2 blocks. So again, 7, we're reading it from right to left, 2 blocks to start. So that again is going to be 7 total double crochets before I start my spaces. Turn your work, single crochet and single crochet in that left bar, And now I can work my 6 double crochets in the next 6 stitches. Row 7 then has 2 spaces. Chain 2, skip 2, and double crochet in the next. 1 space, chain 2, skip 2, double crochet in the next. That is 2 spaces. And then we have 3 blocks. So that is going to be a total of 9 more double crochets. A total of 10. Remember, we count this last one. So I'm going to work a double crochet in the next 9 stitches. Looks something like this. Now I just worked my 3 total blocks. I need 2 spaces. So I'll show you where we are. So I have my 2 blocks, 2 spaces, 3 blocks, which is what I just did, and now I've got 2 spaces here. Skip 2, double crochet in the next. 1 more space, skip 2, double crochet in the next. So I need 7 double crochets. This double crochet that I just completed counts as 1. I need 6 more. 2 blocks. So chain 2, skip 2, double crochet in the next. Space. 2 spaces. That's 1 space. Chain 2, skip 2, double crochet in the next to create your second space. 3 blocks. So we need a total of 10 stitches. This one already counts. 9 more double crochets. 2 spaces. Chain 2, skip 2, double crochet in the next. Chain 2, skip 2, double crochet in the next. And then I need my 2 blocks, total of 7 double crochets. I already have 1, so 6 double crochets, 1 double crochet into each of the next 6 stitches will give me a total of 7 at the end to complete my 2 blocks. Row 8 is a fairly easy one. We have 2 blocks to begin, all of these spaces, and 2 blocks at the end. Start like I always do with that single crochet in the first stitch and a single crochet in that left bar. I need 2 blocks for this one, so 7 total double crochets. Remember, that one counts. Double crochet in the next 6. Now I need a bunch of spaces. I'm going to be working spaces all the way across until I get to this last space here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 total spaces. And the spaces are obviously really easy to count because you can see them a lot easier than counting those double crochets. So I'm going to work my spaces and I will meet you when I get to this end. I have worked my spaces all the way across. I need 7 total double crochets on this end. I've got my 1 here, so I'm going to work 6 double crochets, 1 double crochet into the next 6, making progress. Row 9. Let's see what row 9 is. We're over here now because it's an odd row. We need 2 blocks, some spaces, 2 blocks for his nose, more spaces, and 2 blocks. So I'm going to work 2 blocks and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 spaces. There's my first double crochet. I need 6 more double crochets for those first 2 blocks. Now I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I think. 1, 2, 3, yes, 7 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I need 2 more spaces. And now we need 2 blocks for his nose. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Double check your spaces. We need 2 blocks for the nose. Alright, let's look at our chart. I've just worked those 2 blocks. I need 7 spaces and 2 blocks for this side. So I'm going to work my 7 spaces and 2 blocks. Alright, row 9 completed. Let's see what row 10 is. Working left to right. It is going to be, because it's a mirror, it's going to be the same exact pattern that we worked for row 9. Row 11, so 11, we're working right to left. We've got 2 blocks, 3 spaces, 3 blocks, 4 spaces, 3 blocks, 3 spaces, and 2 blocks. So 2 blocks to start this row. I'm going to work my single crochet as usual, and my single crochet into that bar to create my first stitch. And now I'm going to work 6 double crochets. So a double crochet in the next 6, 6 double crochets, 7 total counting that first double crochet or that first stitch that we did. I need 3 spaces now. I now need 3 blocks. Got 9 double crochets to make my 3 blocks. 3 spaces is the next part of this, so chain 2, skip 2, double crochet in the next, 3 times, 3 spaces, and we should have 6 stitches left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the top of our turning chain, 6. So we need a double crochet into each of those to complete our 2 end blocks for row 11. We are now on row 12. Row 12 is going to be left to right. We have 2 blocks, 4 spaces, 2 blocks, 4 spaces, 2 blocks, 4 spaces, and 2 blocks. Single crochet to start in that very first stitch, and a single crochet in the left bar. And now I need 6 double crochets for my 2 blocks. Next we have 4 spaces. So I'm going to work my 4 spaces. So I've got my 4 spaces. Next up is 2 blocks. So 6 double crochets and 4 spaces. So I'm just going to work exactly the same as I did for this 11th row. 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces. There's our 4 spaces. 2 blocks, so I need a double crochet in the next 6 stitches, 4 spaces, so I'm going to work a space here, 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 and here, and then finish up with those last double crochets for my 2 blocks on the end. Row 13, 2 blocks, 5 spaces, 1 block, 4 spaces, 1 block, 5 spaces, and finishing up with 2 blocks. rows 1 through 13. You can see the pumpkin mouth, his nose, and his 2 eyes. So we are on 14 now. Row 15 is 4 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 spaces and 4 blocks. We are on row 16 now. 16 is 5 blocks, 10 spaces, and 5 blocks on the end. Row 17. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 blocks, 3 spaces, and 8 blocks. And that row 17 is really the only row that is not a mirror image on both sides, because we have that little part of the stem to kind of create the stem looking image on the pumpkin. Now 18 and 19 are exactly the same as each other. So for 18 we want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 blocks, 2 spaces, and 9 blocks. For row 19, same thing, 9 blocks, 2 spaces, 9 blocks, and then 20 is just double crochets all the way across, and that kind of completes a little bit of a border around this pumpkin image. So again, row 18 is 9 blocks, 2 spaces, and 9 blocks. Row 19 will be exactly the same. So here is the completed little pumpkin placemat or table mat. You can see how the spaces shape the pumpkin and the double crochet blocks sort of accent different parts of that image. I hope you enjoyed this pumpkin placemat filet crochet tutorial. I will do a proper how-to filet crochet with a lot more information on the basics eventually, and I will, once that is posted and live on my channel, I will put that down below in the description box if you want to check that out. I plan to do a lot more filet crochet projects because I just love creating these images and then transferring it onto a work of crochet art. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please be sure to like, share, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on any more future filet crochet projects and other yarn and crochet content. Until next time, happy filet crocheting, everyone. Bye!